Welcome to today's video. I'm actually really excited for this one because we're going to be talking about avoidant men and how to avoid them. Okay, amongst other things, of course. But basically, this video is for the girlies who struggle with attachment, with feeling anxious when they don't get a text back, when they don't get a call back, when they're not getting attention, and things like this. And I'll tell you why. Basically, if you've seen any of my videos, you'll know that I used to be that girly and I used to get really, really anxious when I wouldn't get a text back. And when I would just freak out. I would get really nervous and would get like this kind of like really uncomfortable feeling in my chest and in my entire being of just like, oh my God, this person doesn't like me. Maybe I'm not likable, all of this stuff. Like, that actually doesn't even make sense. But basically, stories that we make up in our heads. Okay. So, I want to give you a few little tips for this. Okay. You need to also go watch my last video because it was also related to this, and it is important that you watch it if you've got anxious attachment style or if you feel like you're attracted to avoidant men all the time. Okay. So, number one is very, very simple. Okay. If you feel like you are always attracted to the wrong men, to the avoidant type of men that don't actually give you what you would be hoping for, this kind of like lovely treatment and care and nourishment vibes, then what you need to do is number one, and I know it's going to sound difficult and I know it's going to sound annoying, and you're going to say, what am I going to do? Like, how do I do this? Is basically to avoid avoidant men. Okay. Sounds easier said than done, but basically, what you need to do, my love, is actually to start avoiding and even just preventing that situation from happening. Okay. I know it sounds weird and hard, and you're like, how? Let me tell you how. So basically, avoid. I'm literally going to take notes because this is important. Basically, the way that we do this is when you notice the signs at the start. Okay, when you notice that a man is kind of avoidant, and actually, this is an important point that I'm going to make a little side note, but that is so, so important for this is that if he has spent 2 full-blown days love bombing you, like just like dropping the love bombs, bam, 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 you're so beautiful, you're like literally the best thing that I've ever seen, blah, 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 blah. Notice if all of these comments are about your appearance, because if they are, that is a red flag, okay? Because if he's commenting and love bombing on all of your appearance, it means that, surprise, he's not that interested. He's not going to be interested in you long term, in your soul. Why? Because he's so hyper focused on appearance that any other girl that walks past that is like, causes this like dopamine effect in him, like he's gonna run for that. You know what I mean? He's gonna go for like this kind of girly. He's gonna go for any type of girl that like makes his dopamine spill all over his brain. So what that means is that if you notice that he's completely dropping love bombs on you for the first 2 days and then kind of like goes, it's kind of like he dissipates from a distance. It's like he just starts going, "Mm, this means that he's probably doing it to someone else for the next 2 days and full stop." And you don't need to worry and be checking your phone, being like, where is Jimmy? Where is Chad? Where is Tom? You don't care. Why? Because you're minding your own business, okay? Because you don't give a shit about somebody who's going to love bomb you. You care about somebody who's going to show up consistently, put in an effort, like taking action as opposed to just saying random words, okay? Because we can all listen to random words. If you wanted to, you could actually ask ChatGPT or any AI tool to call you amazing, but instead you're going to listen to affirmations and say it to yourself, full stop, okay? So basically, avoid avoidant men, but also side note, hello, we need to put in a side note to love bombing at the start, especially on physical appearance. This is not a good sign. This is a really, really bad sign. Okay. We've all had it. I have had it. It was actually just like, it is, I see it from miles away now that I'm just like, get away from me. Please, like, be done with it. Which is really cool. I'm really happy I'm at that point in my life. So yeah, avoiding avoidant men is basically putting like a bubble around you. And what it takes is for you to be aware of what avoidant means in the first place. What I would see as avoidant is basically somebody who is avoiding all responsibility of like what you would expect for somebody from somebody that shows up to act like. Okay, so for example, if you're expecting a normal person or a friend, right? Or a sibling to show up for you and care for you and nourish you, why wouldn't you expect that from a man who's interested in you? Okay. So if you notice that he has certain patterns and you just know that he's completely emotionally unavailable, then there's the avoidant person. He's not, well, either he's avoidant or he's absolutely not interested. And both of those are not okay for you because you're interested in somebody who's interested in you. If somebody's not putting in effort into you, hello, goodbye. Like it's very, very easy because then they like you drop them at the exit door and goodbye. Like you don't need to do anything more than that. But in order to avoid is basically like do not pay these types of men or people attention because if you are, you're giving attention to the wrong people. And what happens is that your energy ends up being drained and you don't have attention or energy to give to the right people who are actually going to care for you or the right man that comes along, whatever that is, if that's what you're trying to claim. Okay. So, in order to stop being heartbroken, pissed off, frustrated, bothered, affected, irritated, you need to start avoiding avoidant men or unavailable men or men who don't like you. Because if you keep making the same mistake, you're going to keep attracting the same. And also, it's just going to keep pissing the out of you like it really is. So you really want to avoid these situations so that you can protect your beautiful little energy, which is exactly what matters here for your life, right? Like this is your life. You get to be the main character, and that means that you get to mind that beautiful energy so that you can use it on other things. Okay, so we're going to avoid real quick. We're going to just avoid avoidant men or emotionally unavailable or men who don't like you. Okay, that is the first number one. Like, please do not skip this. Do not skip this because you're about to be texting someone. Please don't double text. Please don't do that. If you see that somebody is like not available, not texting you like after hours, like after a day, do not double text. Please do yourself a favor. Don't do that to yourself. It's actually like it, don't do it. I'm not even going to say it. It's just uncomfortable for all parties involved. You don't need to do that, okay? You just don't. You don't need to be a chaser. You don't need to, you're not a hunter, okay? Like you're not a huntress. You're not hunting for food here. You're not hunting for a man. This is not what you're doing. If it's clear that somebody is unavailable, okay, and you're triggered, fine. Deal with the trigger internally. You're not about to blurt out why you're triggered to this person who doesn't even know you that well. Just move on, and that's it. Deal with your triggers internally, do your own inner work, do that in your own space, and do that in your own time. Okay? Because it's going to be a lot easier. And I swear to God, it's a waste of time to vent to these men anyway, because it doesn't make sense, because they don't care, because they don't know how to care, and they're not interested. They're unbothered. Okay? So you need to be unbothered, but do your inner work. Okay? If you can't be unbothered, then be bothered in your own space. Be bothered in your own space so that you can do your own inner work, like listen to your whatever meditation, journal, be pissed off in your own space, let it out with a therapist, let it out with your friends, but do not go to this avoidant man to tell him what he's doing wrong if he doesn't even know you that well, because he doesn't need to be trained. He just needs to care, and he won't. Okay, so you're never going to teach somebody to care for you. If somebody cares for you and actually wants to put in the effort, they will. And believe a man when he shows he doesn't care. Okay, so that is absolutely number one. I'm not going back on it. This is a must listen to. Like, you need to actually really, really get that into your brain and just like trust me on this, okay? It's very important. Okay. Number two would be I know this is an interesting one. When we talk about avoidant men, it's not actually that related, but it kind of is. But like, okay, you gotta stop going after the men that are the most like chased after, the most looked after in the room, the most like handsome, the most muscly, the fittest, or whatever of them all, okay? Because if you keep doing that, you're literally just obsessing. You're obsessing over someone's appearance and you're putting someone on a pedestal. And I think that's where I was getting at with this point. Do not put somebody on the pedestal, okay? Because sometimes these men, these people will, they will have probably put themselves on the pedestal already. We don't know. But the thing is, if I don't know how to explain it, but it's just a thing. Like if you're going after someone or, a man who's just like very sought after, or like all of the women are drooling over him, it's like, it's just going to be annoying long term, to be honest. Like, you're just going to be there wondering, like, oh God, do I have to deal with this like all the time? Like, it's just not. So basically, okay, this is not the point. Like, obviously, like go after what your heart desires. That's fine, okay? But I think what I usually see is that some females will go after men who they themselves think is out of their league and they have put this man on a pedestal. This is when it's not good because this is when you get this obsession going and you're like, oh my God, he's out of no, like he's amazing. Like I need to get him. You weren't built to chase, you weren't built to hunt. This is where I'm getting. Like, you don't need to seduce this man to be with you. Okay, like I don't think in any world that's okay. You're gonna struggle and it's gonna piss you off if you go down this path. Like if you put somebody on a pedestal and you really think that they're the price and you think they're like the best thing in the world and you put them above yourself, we're in trouble because you need to be very, very sure about yourself, very secure, have a very healthy level of self-esteem to be dating someone or to be even thinking of dating someone. So I think the point here is to not put someone else on the pedestal. It's going to end badly. Okay. So what you do here is basically ground yourself. If you feel like you're genuinely interested in someone and they actually are interested in you and you can see that and they're taking action towards you, that's fine. But what we're not doing here is sitting here observing on the sidelines at these amazing men or this amazing man thinking like, oh my God, like I'm gonna do everything it takes to like get his attention. No, stop it. Because you don't need to do that. Okay? You don't need to do that now, not tomorrow, not yesterday, not ever. Because it's gonna take all of the energy out of you that you should be pouring into yourself into that person. And for what? For nothing. Because if somebody's not putting in effort already and they haven't decided that they like you already, you're not here to chase. You're not here to seduce. You're not here to like, be a pick me shop, basically. It's too much effort. It's a trek. You don't want to hike. Like, basically, attraction and love should not feel like a hike at the start, right? It should feel like, listen, we were both magnetized to each other, and it was pretty beautiful, actually. But the thought of going and putting a man on a pedestal and going after him and chasing him like you're hunting something is definitely not appealing. It's not going to be appealing for you. It's not going to be good for your energy. And it's going to be unpleasant. So don't do that. Um, okay. Number three, going back to kind of like if you have an anxious attachment style, it's very important of course, me taking notes so that I don't forget the notes that I'm making here. It's important to actually think about your well-being. Okay, so listen, in one of my videos, I talked about how if you have an anxious attachment style, the best possible thing that you can do if you're interested in dating properly and if you're interested in being with somebody is going and selecting somebody who has a secure attachment style, but also understands your attachment style so that they can basically be there for you and understand you and listen to you. That does not mean you have the excuse to be an absolute bitch whenever you want. Okay. Anxious attachment style is a thing. That doesn't mean you blurt out like, no, I don't like this. No, 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 no. This means you communicate healthily how things make you feel. If that person understands and they can listen to you while you're being rational and you're communicating healthily, then it's a very good green flag. Okay. What you really don't want to do, as I talked about in my last video, is if you feel like you have an anxious attachment style and go for an avoidant. As stated in number one, we want to avoid these types of men. Okay. And it literally says on my notes, avoid avoidant men. You can't see that when we move. Avoid avoidant men. That's literally it. So number three is about that. Okay. So if you feel quite anxious around certain things, such as like, if you feel like you need more consistency in the communication that you have with this person. Okay. Let's say that you start dating a guy and he is clearly showing that he really likes you. He's really into you. He's putting in the effort in the dates and everything. And he's like super nourishing energy. Okay. But then, like, the consistency wouldn't be there. So let's say, okay, let's put an example that he's really busy with work. What do you do? Do you flip out or do you communicate healthily how certain things make you feel and how you would prefer how things nah. mm. Hello, I'm like thinking with my Spanish brain right now. Basically, what you want to be doing is communicate healthily, okay? And maybe check in with yourself as well, okay, before you even communicate this, because maybe you need to be rational as well and realistic with the other person and say, okay, this person is working. Like, clearly, I can't expect for this person to be available at all times. Okay. So maybe having reality check ins. Okay. But also communicating that throughout. Like, it's okay to communicate, like, listen, it's okay to say, for example, after a certain amount of dates and you guys are involved and like everything is going really well, like, listen, I had somebody who didn't show up for me very well a long time ago. And therefore, it would make me feel a lot better if we had this kind of like consistent communication. If that's your vibe, okay? If that's what you feel is right for you, then you can say it. If the person is nice and he actually wants to put in the effort to be with you, he will absolutely do it. I can assure you. Okay. So that doesn't mean that you're requesting somebody to message you 24/7. Okay. You want to message other people, you message your friends. You want to talk to other people, you talk to your mom. There's other people to be talking to aside from the guy that you're dating. Okay. Or your boyfriend or your fiance or whoever. Okay. So basically, I wanted to go through that. Like, number one would be like avoid avoidant man. Okay, like honestly, if you know that they have been your type in the past and they've just caused you pain, you gotta just see the signs from the start and then like filter from that. Okay, you gotta do it for yourself for sure. Number two, do not chase and do not put somebody on the pedestal. It's not worth it. It will save you a lot of hassle in the future. Trust me if you listen to this. And number three, if you've got that little attachment style that I guess it's more prone to being anxious. Just be mindful. Okay, just be mindful of like who you're surrounding yourself with, what kind of guys are you actually choosing here? Okay. And for sure, like the safest one, it's always going to be secure attachment style. And the signs are basically consistency, understanding, and good communication skills. Okay. And that's pretty much what I wanted to go through. Let me know in the comments if you would like more about this topic or another one, okay? Because I think, to be honest, the anxious attachment style is such a typical one that girlies suffer with, and it's something that for sure needs to be talked about a little bit more, a little bit, maybe a bit more than that. But my loves, it's getting late over here, and I just like want to go to bed and meditate and sleep. So I will love you and leave you, and I'll speak to you very soon.